whether big or small, continue to keep the faith. This is an area that I feel like people skip over, and including myself. We always focus on the biggest faithful acts, right? The acts that change lives. Maybe it's you not going back to lust. Maybe it's you not going back to a person or not going back to a certain thing, putting your phone down for days. Those are big acts of faith, right? But then we overlook the small acts of faith that just happen every single day. Those times where a tiny curse word slips out, or those times where you gossip a little bit, or people try to pull you into something, even though it's very tiny, but you know it's not pleasing in the eyes of God. You gotta be faithful in those times and just say no. It may not lead to any danger, it may not lead to any harm, but it's not righteous and it's not good for your character, and it goes against your identity that you now form with Christ. And Jesus shows that these small acts will also be rewarded in heaven. So let's look at Luke chapter 19, verse 22. In this passage, one of the servants did not follow the command that the master gave them. Instead of acting on faith, he did nothing at all and just gave back to the master what the master already gave to him. And the master said, then why didn't you just put my money in the bank? And when I returned, I would have collected it with interest. Now you gotta understand that is extremely small. It requires no effort, it's no work, and all you do is just put the money there and just let it sit and you go about your life. But even then, that will be awarded because even though it's a small act, it's a small act in faith. It's a small act in obedience. Sometimes it's not about the big things that you see in your everyday where you just get a huge change and you're acting on it in faith. Sometimes it's the small things that lead up to a consistent flow in your life. And this is one thing that we have to understand, because compromise is such a dangerous thing and it only leads us to death. It's not just big things that you have to worry about. It's the small things as well. Those tiny cracks in your door that allow temptation to creep into it. You gotta ask God for strength to shut it and to close it completely. That way you rid yourself of the temptation completely. You feel me? And you're now being faithful in small acts, which is every day, and big acts that come into your life trying to completely pull you away from Christ. So my final words are, do not neglect the smaller acts, because those same small acts in faith have such a large and great reward in heaven. And those small acts in faith pile up more than one big one because it happens so consistently. And with that being said, stand firm. Don't overlook the small acts of faith. And yeah, be yourselves, love yourselves, and always willing to improve.